Between doses of human growth hormone, Nam's been busy finishing off the chassis harness, which means at the end of this episode, I'm gonna do this. First of all, what happened here, buddy? When did you get so tall?
Hey, we took so long making this harness. That's what happened.
It's true. He finally grew up. He's a late bloomer. He finally hit that growth spurt. But seriously, you've been very busy working on this thing. Can you give us an update? Last time we saw it, it was still in like bare, unwrapped looms at your shop. So you've obviously wrapped it.
Yeah. So we've wrapped it with some I guess some plastic loom for the interior harness, and then with the harness for the engine bay, in order to keep the heat away from the wires, we wrapped it with the Raychem DR25.
You've also been playing around a little bit with the software for the Smartwire to figure out everything is kind of like working properly?
Yeah, so what I did at the shop was I tested to make sure some of these switches were working. Like, the only switches we're actually really using is the switches on the turn signal stock.
Yeah.
For the high beams and the turn signals. And so all the other switches like the horn, starter button, headlight switch, washer jets, and dome light we're going to be using on the keypad over here. The power supply, I was able to test everything, so the headlights work, turn signals work, and all the other stuff works really nice. So it should be good to go in the car.
Just like that, the whole harness is in the car, and we're ready to turn the key. But first, let's take a quick tour of what you've done here, Nam. You've obviously put that front engine harness that you wrapped in the Raychem in through the firewall main harness opening. It runs up around the front here, and we may have moved the windshield washer reservoir on you.
Yeah, you originally told me it was going to be mounted over here, so I wired it up over here. Now I got to cut this all apart, and just for some washer fluid.
Sorry about that, Nam. We didn't plan well enough on that one. Pete just jumped in there. I'm going to blame it on Pete. That was Pete's idea.
No,
I had nothing to do with that.
I did not even know about this whole thing.
I probably should have known.
You should have told me, and then I would have been like,
my,
I'm going to keep it there.
My very short mental checklist
Yes.
could not handle everything that was happening here. So we should also mention we threw an AEM oil pressure sensor down in the OE location, because it used to have just like a dummy light.
It used to have just the factory sensor, which is like a dummy light. When you have low oil pressure, the light will come on the dash and tell you it's low. But with the Link ECU and the Racepak dash, it can actually tell you what the oil pressure is. So that's a little bit more safe to drive around with. So if it's there, you might as well use it. So.
Yeah, we could even set up a warning light on the dash to say low oil pressure, shut it down, dummy. All right, well, let's jump in the cabin and show you the rest of the harness. So in the cabin, things are just kind of temporarily in place as well. You've run the chassis harness
just right alongside this right side of the car.
Yep.
I've made some mounts for the battery cable and the cabin harness.
Yep.
It's all going to run all alongside the right side of the car here into the back firewall there, and into the back where the connector is for the tail lights and the fuel pump.
And of course the battery is back there too. So Nam's also put our keypad in here temporarily. We're going to put in like carbon block off plates and finish off the whole dash, and obviously remount the IQ3. It's just been pulled out temporarily so that we can do some testing. So yeah, that's what the cabin looks like at the moment. Anything in the trunk before we turn the key?
Nothing major. It's just regular connectors for the fuel pump.
Okay,
so
nothing
really
exciting back there. In that case, I think we're gonna sub in Dove. Is Dove coming in here now?
I think we got to call in Dove and get this thing started.
He's kind of like the laptop ninja, so yeah, let's fire this puppy up. As you can see, Dove fits beautifully in the Celica here.
Perfect.
And he's been doing some configuring of the Racepak, and I guess checking some vitals on the link too before we turn the key.
Yeah, just like fuel pump control, because when we first turned the ignition on, the pump ran forever.
Yeah.
So
you got that sorted out?
Yeah, I got that sorted out.
That was in the Racepak software?
It was in between the Link and the Racepak. So the Link sends a signal to the Racepak to light the fuel pump.
Yeah.
But they have to be reading the same signal. So we had to tell the Smartwire that, hey, it's going to pull a ground down, and that's when you turn the fuel pump on.
Okay.
Just small little.
Was there anything else you had to fiddle with before you're ready to turn the key, or are we good to go?
I don't know. We'd give it a try.
Okay. Actually, maybe we should have someone else turn the key the first time. What do you guys think? Should we sub the bigger man in?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's see if you fit.
This is it. This is it.
Don't break the car now, Mace.
Oh my goodness. What a sight this is.
Jesus.
His head is hard to get through. Do you want to recline the seat some more, Moose, so you're a little more comfortable? Is that as far back as it goes?
Yep.
Oh, no,
there we go.
All right.
I got headroom now.
Look at that. Here it goes, everybody.
No. You don't actually turn the key. Turn the key forward.
Oh, and then there's a start button.
The start button is the first button on the
Ooh,
pedal.
that's
Top left
fancy.
corner there.
Right
there you
there.
go. Whoa! Here it runs! It runs!
No, it doesn't sound quite right though.
Sounds like a Subaru though. Is that because Dev's working on it? What's going on?
No.
It's a misfire, I would say.
Yeah, it seems like it's got a misfire. Fire it back up, actually.
Fire it back up, Moose?
Yeah.
I don't even care that it sounds like a Subaru. I'm just happy it's finally running.
Alive! It's alive! It's alive!
Yes! Take the cover off, I guess. Okay. Shut it off, good. Maybe we just have a connector loose to a coil pack. I'm guessing maybe that's the case. Let's find out.
Silicone that?
Well, it seems like once we rev the motor up, it sounds fine. It's running on 4 cylinders. We think we just have a vacuum leak, basically, because I didn't put silicone on either side of the excessive manufacturing adapter that allows us to run these AE111 ITBs. We're supposed to put silicone on both sides of it, and I have no silicone on either side of it. We just installed it as mock-up, and I never went back and fixed that. So
What's this guy doing?
it's just pure amateur out here. The good news is it seems to be running on 4 cylinders.
Yeah. No, right now what the ECU is doing is it's limiting the RPM by cutting spark.
Okay.
So like it's idling at 2300 RPM, which is the max that the ECU will let it go with 0% throttle input.
And it's doing that because of the leak, you think?
Yeah, well, obviously that's why I put the cardboard up. I tried to like stop the air from going in,
And it
we-
made no effect.
I couldn't stall the engine out.
Yeah.
So.
So it's sucking air past
It's
the
getting
gasket
air.
there.
It's getting air somehow because somebody didn't follow instructions.
Yes, I didn't follow the instructions. It's true. As far as tuning the ITB goes, I mean, these are factory ITBs, Pete. I don't want to touch any set screws on this stuff.
Well,
Let's
I don't know.
leave it
Maybe
alone.
you don't need to.
Let's fix the seal first.
The
and
internet will
then
tell
we'll
us if you should be adjusting the ITBs
see. All right,
individually.
well, we're going to do that off camera. I'm just happy this thing is running. Let's fire it back up and really like rev it out though. So you guys, here's what it sounds like out the tailpipe. Yeah, let's go around back. Rev it up, Moose, rev it up. That's awesome, I love it. Woo! I'm deaf now, but I love it. Woo!
Sounds kind of gnarly.
It does sound amazing. Beams motors sound good. And this vibrant exhaust system sounds really good. I was worried it was going to be like obnoxiously loud, but it sounds sweet, man. I'm pumped. Well, I think we're going to call that a wrap on this startup video. Super psyched to have finally heard Beamsy fire up. It was music to my ears, although even though I'm maybe slightly deaf in the right ear now. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. We will get this thing tuned up and running right and on the dyno. We'll show you it being tuned on the dyno. We'll show you some more secret stuff going on as far as sorting it out before we go for a proper rip. That'll be soon. I don't know when, but it's going to be very soon because this thing is running. It's a miracle. It's a miracle, everybody.